ready for this?
You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Envision Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Thrive Talk with TKT, a show that shares the stories and experiences of motherhood, entrepreneurship, leadership, and success. Thrive Talk with TKT begins now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thrive Talk with TKT. I am your host, Coach K. I am the COO of Bossed Up Lead Hers Incorporated, and I have the pleasure to introduce, two more guests. Two more hosts, Tiffany and Tracy. If you guys introduce yourself.
I'm about to say I am not a guest. Hello. It's Dr. Tracy Hines Lashley, the founder and the CEO of Bossed Up Lead Hers Incorporated.
Hello, everybody. It's Tiffany Myers, and I am the CFO of Bossed Up Lead Hers Incorporated.
And welcome. We are so excited and blessed to have the lovely Miss Mashanda Inniss, Panama City native, joining us tonight. Tell you a little bit about her. She was born and raised in Panama City, Florida, a domestic violence coach, as well as a mother of one son. His name is Mr. Zadrick Inniss. She is a domestic violence survivor and the CEO and founder of We Help. This organization that helps individuals, women, men, and children through domestic violence abuse. Ms. Inniss found her passion after her own personal encounters with domestic violence and acknowledged a need to help those individuals in need of assistance and looking for a way out. Her organization and services that she provides the community with education on domestic violence abuse, injunctions, relocation, and monetary assistance with the help of local churches and the members of the community. Ms. Inniss also has a weekly support group and meetups with domestic abuse survivors. So that's a little bit about Miss Mashanda Inniss. And we are, like I said, we are so blessed and we are just excited to have her on the show today.
I think it's been about 20 years since I've seen you? Long time, Mashanda.
Yes, long time.
Yeah. So do you want, Miss Mashanda, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little more about you?
My name is Mashanda Inniss. I'm 45 years old. I'm a single parent to a 26-year-old son, grandmother to one granddaughter who is 6 years old. My spare time consists of me taking care of kids, babysitting, and putting all my leisure time into my organization. The kids that I keep, they get hands-on with my organization too. They go out into the community. They get hands-on. They help with passing out hygiene bags and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much busy all through the week.
Oh, wow. So now they can put on their little college resumes and stuff, put that on there. We help you guys with the organization. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. So how old are the kids? Are they school age?
Yeah, they're school age. I have one that's middle school. I have one that's 11. She's middle school. And I have the other three that are elementary. And then I have one that's 1 year old. Community
service already.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay. That's something. Okay. So, yeah. So would you want to tell us a little more or tell the listeners a little more about your organization? Its cause, and tell us about your team of experts.
The name of my organization is We Help. Women helping women and men and children out of domestic violence by encouraging them, mentoring them, helping them reach a safe place. Also, by guiding those to pick back up the self esteem that they may have lost dealing with the situation. My team is made up of women and men who have been involved in domestic violence situations,
Oh,
or they have
wow.
been brought into it. Um, I recently just helped a young lady. She was 7 months pregnant. I helped her. She ended up going back to her attacker because she said it was for the baby.
Oh, wow. I know that
Yeah.
was kind of hard.
It was a hurting feeling because I feel like when they come to me, they're being honest about it and they want to get out of it. But I can't put judgment on them for the simple reason I was one of them people. I was one of them also back in 2016. So I can't say, okay, you can't go back, don't go back. This is how it's supposed to be because it's hard to get over it. So I accepted it. My team accepted it, and we're still here for her. We're still helping her. We're still helping her with the baby and stuff. Helping her, she sends us pictures of the baby and everything. So she says she's doing good, and I just take it as okay, she's doing good. She hasn't said anything else. We haven't had a one-on-one with her or anything. Every time we ask, can we do like a girl's day with you? She's always, no, I'm too busy. So we just leave it. We don't push the issue. I just pray for her because once I come in contact with a young lady, for whatever reason, I always, I never lose contact with them. I keep in contact with them. I call them, I text them, FaceTime them, Facebook them. I do it all. I just have to keep in contact with them.
Oh,
Wow. So now that's like completely amazing. And I mean, to hear that story, it's heartwarming. It's heart lifting to know that, there are people who are out there trying to help other people who are in a situation where sometimes it is, they don't know which way to go, you know, and just be there for them because a lot of people need that. So my question would be, what ignited your thirst and drive to become a domestic violence advocate or the voice for the victim of abuse? So I do know you said that you were in that situation, but what really said, okay, I have to do this for someone else now that I'm out of it?
I almost lost my life in 2016. So when I almost lost my life in 2016, I was tied up. I was beaten. I was thrown from one side of the bedroom to another side of the bedroom. I was held at knife point. So after that, after I literally got out of it and I recovered from it, I went to counseling and everything. I literally just started reaching out to the state attorney's office here in Tallahassee, and they gave me, I seen it. I was asked to speak. It was during Domestic Violence Month, and I was asked to speak about my story and share my story. And I was like, I didn't have a name. The people wanted me to have a name. They wanted to know what it was about, what it stood for. And I was like 15 minutes before I had to speak, and I was like, okay, what do I tell these people? So I sat in my room and I was like, okay, I got it. I got it. And the kids were like, what are we going to call it? I was like, we're going to call it We Help. And they were like, well, what does it stand for? I said, women helping other women and empowering women and men and kids out of domestic violence situations. They said, okay, we got it. So that, and since then, I stay in contact with the state attorney's office. I'm able to go into the state attorney's office and sit down and I share stories with them about other women. They let me sit in on court cases with them. It's just something that I strive to do, and I'm going to continue it, and I'm continuing it. We go out into the community. Like I said, we go out into the community. Um, I serve the less fortunate. I don't like to say homeless. I say less fortunate. I serve the less fortunate. Me and my team, we go out there. We do bag lunches. We do hygiene bags. During Thanksgiving, we did a Thanksgiving Day dinner. dinner with them, with the less fortunate. We fed them a hot meal. We had bag lunches. The kids were involved in it. They got hands on. My team was there. I have a chef. I have my own personal chef. And, he's the only man. So, he has this passion for it too, because he sees me going for it and doing it. So he's like the one that's really, really pushing me. I have an assistant. She's never gone through domestic violence, but when she heard my story, she heard me going live and talking about it. So she automatically just attached herself to me. She was like, I see us going places with this. We can do this. And now I have a strong team. I have it's myself. I have an assistant. Her name is Lakeisha Orange. I have Letitia Roll. She's my secretary. I have one, Christine Mordecai. She calls herself the bodyguard because she protects me. Anytime I might get in a mood where something is bothering me and I feel like, I've come in contact with the victim and I take it on myself and I don't share it with them. And I move away from our group chat for a couple of days. So, Christine, she calls herself my bodyguard. So she comes by and she'll check on me. Are you okay? Do you need anything? And I'm like, no, I just really got to concentrate. And, I get attached to these victims, and to see them go back, my team tells me, you can't stop them from going back, because you have to remember at one time you went back and you kept going back. So I have Christine, she's my bodyguard. I have my god sister, she's the We Help helper. My assistant, her son is the We Help little man, because he's always there to keep me laughing no matter what I've gone through throughout the week. Once we do these events, he's the one that's going to keep everybody laughing. Like I said, I have my chef, Daryl Gaskin, and, he does the cooking and make sure everything is on point. So, I have a strong team standing behind me. They keep me going, and I love my team. I can wake up in the morning and they make sure I get that text message to let me know they're proud of me, keep pushing, don't give up, and we're going to make it. And, I love them.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back. Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever experienced uncertainty, always worrying about things out of your control, and found yourself in a sunken place with no outlet? Was there a time where your thoughts were going a mile a minute and would not shut off? You constantly hit dead ends looking for a remedy to reduce or eliminate stress. That is where Preeminent Life Solutions comes in. They provide individualized healthy coping techniques and strategies to reduce and deal with the stressors and that overwhelming feeling of weariness and self-doubt. Coach K is results-driven, and her unique techniques gives you a clearer vision and the ability to pay attention to the current moment. You can contact Coach K at www.flow.page/Coach K.
All right, welcome back. We have the lovely Mashanda Inniss with us today, and she's telling us a little bit about her domestic violence organization and her situation herself. So Mashanda, or Miss Inniss, may I say? All right, so we're back. So, Miss Inniss, before we took a break, you were saying about your team, your strong backing, that support system, and that's awesome to me, because we can't do anything without that strong support system, and especially in this type of organization, to where you will become weak, and especially with the people that come to you with their problems. You tend to want to help everybody and want to, console them and protect them. And it's kind of hard for you to do. And they bring that remembrance back to you about the time that yourself was in that situation and you had to be the one to say, okay, enough is enough. I commend them for that. And I commend you guys for the organization that you're doing. But during a domestic violence call, what would you tell people, like if they get into a situation and they're looking for an outlet, or if they call, I guess 911 or something, you must be discreet. So how when they call somebody, how would they know what the cops or anybody is supposed to ask them? Like, you must be discreet, or
We don't ask. I don't ask them to be discreet. If they want to tell me their name, they tell me their name. They just like, I ask them like, are you safe? Do you feel safe? What is it that I can help you with? Can I get you into the, tell me what's going on? And they tell me, and I tell them off top, I'm not going to discuss what's going on. I'm not going to discuss anything that you tell me. It doesn't go any further than me and you. And if I feel like it's a situation that I can't handle with them calling me, then I get one of my team members on the line and we do a 3-way. And then I ask them, are you really ready to get out of this situation? Are you sure you're ready? You have to be ready. Are you sure you're ready to leave? I don't want to call the police and they come and then you don't answer the door. And, they'll say yes or no, or let them think about it. But if they tell me, let them think about it, I ask them, are you safe for tonight? Like, if you go to sleep tonight, are you sure you're going to wake up in the morning? And I let them know, like, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just being concerned for you. And, I had one girl, she told me, she was like, I feel safe. I said, okay. I said, as long as you feel safe, I guess, we can go ahead and we can say you're going to be safe. She was like, yeah, I'm safe. Around 12:45 that night, she was beating on my door. And I was like, who is it? And she told me, and I opened the door. I was like, yes. She was like, you just got off the phone with me. I was like, okay. I started panicking, but then I realized, I couldn't panic. So I was like, what happened? And she went to sharing, how he had became more abusive to her. He wouldn't let her sleep. He was pulling her hair. He was throwing things at her, and she had bruises all over her body. I told her, I said, well, by law, I do have to call the sheriff department or the police department and let them know. I said, do you have a problem with that? And she was like, no, I'm just really ready now. And I did call law enforcement. Law enforcement did come. They took pictures of her. The shelter had no beds, but they did go ahead and take her in that night. And she stayed there. And she called me. That next day, she called me and she ended up coming back to my house. And her attacker followed her to my house. So, I had to deal with that. And that was something I had never done with. And her attacker was like, oh, you think you're bad now, huh? I was like, no, I'm not. He was like, are you scared of me? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not scared. And he was like, well, where do you think you're going with my girlfriend? I was like, she's just coming over to sit with me. And he left. And when he left, I asked her, I said, are you sure you're ready to get out? She was like, yes. I said, we're going to go to the courthouse. We're going to file the paperwork. And you should know something by the end of the day. I said, are you ready to go back to the safe haven? She said, yes. She went back to the safe haven. She changed her phone number. Now she's doing good. She's working as a landlord. She has her own business. She's getting ready to get married. And every time she sees me now, she's always, oh, you saved my life. I said, no, babe, you saved your own life. I just helped. I said, but I'm glad that I was there to help you. She was like, I don't know what I would have done without you. And that makes me happy that, I got these young people coming to me, and even the older ones coming to me, and I have their kids coming in looking up to me. So it makes me feel real good to let me know that I am doing something right and I am doing something positive.
Oh, that's a lot to take in. Oh Lord.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Like, when people like pop up at your house, unexpected, and you in fear of their life, now you may be in fear of your life, how do you deal with that? Or how do you cope? Is my thing. I'd be like, kind of, sitting uneasy with that. But you're putting yourself out there, you know what I'm saying, and you help people, and you don't have a second thought about it. It's like they need me, I'm gonna be there for them. So that's a good quality to have, so anybody else that is listening that's have a family member or friend that's dealing with that domestic violence, what would you tell them how to deal with it? If they come to them, like you say, they won't help, but then they turn around and don't want help. They don't receive it. They want to go back. So what would you tell that individual that has a friend come to them? What advice can they give them? Can they tell their friend?
To just be there for them and be an ear to listen. Don't pressure them to try to get out of the relationship, because if you pressure them, then they're going to stay there anyway. So I always tell people, like, I'm not going to pressure you because you have your own mind. You're over the age of 18. So it's your decision that you're going to make. Either you're going to stay out of it or you're going to go back. And if you're going to go back, then I'm always going to be here for you. I'm never going to shut down my phone. I'm never going to answer my phone for you. I'm never going to open my door for you. I'm always here for you. I'm always here to listen. I'm not going to take judgment. I'm not going to be one to judge you because I was that person at one time.
So for the ones that's under the age of 18, how would you deal with that one? Or how would you
The
tell
ones
them?
that are under the age of 18, we actually, during Domestic Violence Month, my team, we actually got to speak to the youth here in Tallahassee. And I shared my story with them. And, it was a lot of them that really didn't really know what it meant. They seen domestic violence as just getting beat. No, it's not. It's different forms. It's physically, it's mentally, it's sexually. I told them it's more than just that. So, you don't have to stay in a relationship with someone. I said, once he puts his hands on you one time, that doesn't mean it's going to stop. I said, but if you don't feel safe talking to your mom, then yes, here's my number. You can call me. You're welcome to call me anytime. You're welcome to Facebook me any time of the night that you have a question to talk to me about, or you want to talk to me one-on-one. I won't tell your mom. I said, I'll just give you the correct answer. I'll tell you what to do and what not to do and how to get out of it.
Wow. Whew. It's a lot. I'm like,
yes, it is.
Because because knowing me, I'm like, get out, okay? It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You any, let's go, okay? I ain't taking no for an answer, because
that's how my grandma and them was when they found out that I was going through domestic violence, because in my family, domestic violence was never an issue. It was always swept under the rug. I seen one of my aunts go through it, but when I seen her go through it, it was like, oh, her baby daddy just got mad at her. He didn't mean to do it. Okay, so it was swept under the rug. No charges were pressed. So as I was going through it, and my family was seeing pictures of my face, all bruised up, black and blue eyes, busted lip. Every other week, I ended up in the hospital with a broken leg, a splint on my arm, a cast on my arm. They were always like, what happened? I was like, oh, I was, the kids were playing and I tripped over their toys and I sprained my ankle. Oh, well, what happened to your face? And I would always tell my aunt, oh, I was coming out of the room too fast and I ran into the door. I fell on one of the kids' toys. I always had a backup plan to everything. To when it really happened to me, the day that it really happened to me and my mom, we stayed right next door to each other. So she heard it all going on. And the only thing I could hear was the police beating on the window and asking me, was I okay? And and I couldn't respond. By the time I responded back and I got to the door and opened the door, the police was like, my face was all bloody. I didn't even feel the blood dripping from my face because my adrenaline was just so, I was just so hyped up about everything. I didn't even feel my scratches or anything, but the police went to asking, how did you get those scratches? Oh, I was coming out of the bedroom and I fell and hit the glass table. And she was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. She was like, well, your mom said you were. I said, my mama overdoing it. She just, you can't believe everything my mama say. She was like, okay. So as the police got ready to close the door, he was literally standing behind the door and he was shaking his head. And the officer was like, are you okay? And I was like, yes, I'm good. She was like, no, you're not. And when she reached in and she pulled me out of the house, of my apartment, he came out behind me. He was like, oh, no, I'm not going to jail. I refuse to go to jail. And that's when they tried to arrest him. And he took off and he ran. And I tell all my people that I'm contact with, I see 48 how they come out with the stretcher, the white uniform, the white booties, and all of this. I literally lived it because these people came to my house, the stretcher with, they're all white on. And I'm sitting outside and I'm like, where are y'all going with that stretcher? And they're like, we're going in here to get the young lady. I said, what young lady? And the man was like, she just died. I said, no, nobody died. It's me. He was like, you must have some angels because they pronounced you dead. I said, no, I'm not dead. So, I literally lived it. And I tell people, you got to be ready to literally get out of it. I had a friend that lost her life to it. And that made me go even harder. Like when my friend lost her life, she lost her life at work. Her boyfriend came to her job and stabbed her on her job and killed her because she wanted to leave him. She wanted out. And he didn't want her to leave. So now she has a daughter. Her daughter's growing up without a mother and without a dad because he committed suicide. He killed himself. So I try to get these ladies to see that before you even get to this point, get out. Like when I walk into the state attorney's office, they literally show me my pictures. And when I see the pictures of my face, how my face was, and I'm like, that was me? And they were like, yes. I was like, that was me in 2016. And they were like, yes, now look at you now. And I'm like, wow. They were like, you remember you used to come and have on all this makeup and we would still see the black eyes. I mean, like I have a folder. They have a folder where they had literally been coming out to my house. They had literally came out to my house so many times to where I had a paper trail. And my folder is so thick. And they were like, look at how many times we came out to save you. And you always said you were okay. And I was like, wow. So I tell everybody, like, I'm blessed to be here and I love what I do. And if it wasn't for my team and my son and my mom and my aunts pushing me, I would literally have lost my life back in 2016. I'm coming up January the 9th. I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary of being alive. I could have lost my life back then in 2016 and make it so bad I remember the date, the time, and the place.
Wow. That's a lot to take in, but I want to take a commercial break to get ourselves back. And when we come back, we're going to go a little further into this.
Dr. Tracy Lashley is the voice of the oppressed and master of teaching the transformational steps from pain of trauma to the power of a survivor. Destined for the shape-shifting ability to step into thriving beyond trauma. She has survived welfare, single parenthood, divorce, military spouse life, being broke, living with bad credit, borderline homeless, not being able to feed her children, just simply struggling to survive for her and her children. If you can relate and wish Dr. Lashley to assist you, contact her today by sending an email to info@drtracielashleY.com or by going to her website at drtracylashley.info.
Ever thought of starting a business or improving its growth? Get the step-by-step business coaching you need to help you start building and stop delaying in just 5 days. Visit lpa.passiongetawayzllc.com or search Life Passion Academy via social media platforms. You'll find free resources to jumpstart your business or side hustle today.
We are with the lovely Mashanda Inniss. Before we took a break, we were speaking about how her mother found her or living next door to her when she had her domestic violence situation. And I want to say I don't think I can fathom seeing one of mine go through that. I don't know. My headspace wouldn't be right. Okay. Mm-hmm. I know if mine fall right now and hurt a knee, I'll be freaking out. You know what I'm saying? So for me to see that, I'll probably be like, I don't want to go to jail myself, you know? So the one that came behind the door, the abuser was saying he's not going to jail. I would have been the one saying, I'm going to jail, you know? So it is kind of hard for a parent to see that, you know what I'm saying? And your mother is strong, you know, for maintaining her composure.
I wasn't going to mention it, but being a mother, my daughter was literally dying in front of me and I didn't know it. She had been abused for so long and was hiding it. Had I not gotten her to the hospital when I did, they said she would have been dead. We probably had 5 minutes to get her there before she would have died. So having going through it and watching my grandchildren see it and think it's okay, that's hard. So I wasn't going to be on this show today because of the topic, but people need to hear it. And thank you for being a voice.
Thank you. You're welcome. My son saw me go through it. He literally knew I was going through it. And he was always, Mom, you know, you deserve better. You're so much better than this. Mom, please, please, Mom, please. And I just never listened. I was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Just leave me alone. Let me live my life. He was like, Mom, please, I'm begging you. Please, Mom, please. And I was like, no, you know, I love him. And he was like, Mom, love shouldn't hurt. And that's one of my slogans that I always use when I come in contact with someone. Love doesn't hurt. Love shouldn't hurt. Domestic violence, it's not what it seems to be. Please, if he hits you one time, he's going to do it again. Please get out. And, you know, my son literally saw me go through it. And the day that it actually happened, my son had to go turn himself in. So my son was my protector. He was literally my protector. Like, oh, he protected me every time he would do something to me. My son was always there to protect me. So I ran under my son and he shielded me. Well, when my son left, he was like, oh, your protector's gone now. It's nobody but me and you. So when my son found out about it, he was like, Mom, I told you. I was like, yes, you told me. I apologize. He was like, Mom, I could have lost you. I was like, I know. But even my attacker, even when we went through trial and everything, they brought up my past. They brought up when I was 16 years old, the things I did when I was 16, how I was in juvenile detention center, how, you know, and I was like, this isn't about me. This isn't about me. You know, preparing for my trial, I was being followed by the public defender's office, undercovers, private investigators. They were following me. They were taking pictures of me. I couldn't take the kids to the park because it was always somebody there taking pictures of me and the kids. And, it got so bad to where I was just like, I would shut myself in the house and I would tell the kids, we're not going to go anywhere today. Miss Mashanda's not feeling too good. And they'll be like, why? Is it because somebody was taking pictures of us? And I'd be like, how do y'all know? They were like, because we seen them. I even had even the kids were like getting scared. They used my house. I had to move. And when I moved, they used my house as a crime scene. They came back, took pictures of it. Like they used all of that in court. They threw all it up in court. And I ended up losing trial. And I was mad when I lost trial because I thought I was prepared for it, but I wasn't. What made me lose trial was they brought the pictures. I seen the pictures of my face and the 911 call. I had never heard the 911 call until the day of trial. And I heard my mom screaming and I heard her saying, please save my baby. That's my baby. That's all I have is my baby. Please save my baby. And when they went to asking me questions, I fumbled and I stuttered and I just couldn't remember anything. And they called for mistrial. So when they did
That's
for
kind
mistrial, I wanted to go back to trial. The state attorney was, huh?
that's kind of disheartening because you have all the
What'd you
proof
say?
right there. It's kind of disheartening because they have the proof right there in their face, and it's like, what do you need? What do you need? What more do you
Right.
need? Like you're making me feel like the system is set up for me to fail. Either that judge is one abusing his wife, or something like you see it, and it's like you don't care. So it's
The
kind of
judge,
hard for me.
the judge actually, yeah, the judge, he was actually on my side. He was literally standing there, sitting right beside me and he was crying. The jury, they were crying because they seen the pictures, they heard the 911 call. It was just that the public defender's office, they had it out for me for some reason. The state attorney, they were upset, everybody, they were mad and I was mad. So when I did get my day in court, when they did he hadn't even been out of prison a good 2 years before he caught these 7 charges. So they only offered him, he was under the repeat offender program, which meant he was supposed to go back and do 15 years mandatory. But they told me that if I took it to trial again, that I wouldn't win. And I was ready. I knew I was ready for the second go round. And they just wouldn't let me do it. They settled out for 6 years in the Department of Corrections, 7 years probation, a year the leg monitor, anger management classes, no contact with me, a restraining order for the rest of my life. And that's it. I got my day in court with him before he got sentenced. I read him a letter that I wrote and I told him, I said, I have no hard feelings against you. I said, but what you did take from me, I said, you took my self-esteem from me not wanting to love again. I said, so now I'm learning to love again and I'm learning to love myself. I said, and I will never let anybody take that from me again. I said, but I just want you to get the help that you need while you're sitting behind bars. He showed no remorse. He didn't care. He looked away. He looked at the ceiling. It was just like he didn't care. I went back. I sat down. I started crying. And as they were leaving out of the courtroom with him in handcuffs and shackles, he had the nerve to literally throw me a kiss. And the deputy was like, did you literally just throw her a kiss? And he was like, I'll always love her. And the judge said, can you come back? The judge brought him back and told him, he said, you're not supposed to have contact with her. He said, that hasn't started yet. He said, that hasn't started yet. He said, it starts the day I get released from prison. He's due to get out next year. People ask me, how do I feel about it? I'm mad. I wish I can go back and take it back to trial again because he hasn't done 6 years. He's only been in there since 2017. So he hasn't done 6 years. They don't look at it like he could have took my life. But when they dug deep into it, his dad killed his mom with domestic violence. His mom was a domestic violence person. His dad stabbed his mom 39 times. So he wanted 38 times. So he told the judge he wanted to know how it was to stab somebody 39 times and break the record.
So
But
I'm
when he had me
confused.
in my when he had me in my house that day, holding me hostage, he told me to give him 3 good reasons why he shouldn't kill me. He said, and if you can give me 3 good reasons, I'll let you leave. I said, just three? He said, three. And I started crying. And he said, there's no need to cry. And he had the knife to my throat. I said, I really can't think of anything right now because I'm nervous. He was like, well, I can just kill you then. I can just cut your neck off. I said, okay, I got him. He was like, give him to me right now. I said, one, I have a mom that needs me. I said, two, I have a son that needs me. Three, I have a granddaughter that loves me to death. I said, you can't kill me. Please just don't kill me. He said, don't beg. He said, I don't want you to beg. I said, okay. He was like, give me something else. Give me another reason why. I said, I'll tell the police that we just had an argument. He was like, you promise? I said, I promise. And in the back of my mind, I was saying, if I just make it to the store, I know I'm okay. And when I made it to the door, I felt so safe. But at the end of the day, I was trying to protect him. And that's what I tell my victims now. If it comes to that point, don't try to protect his family. His family lashed out at me in the courtroom. I went through bashing from them. Like, I had to literally shut my Facebook down. I became a prisoner once again in my home because everywhere I went, I was known that girl took that young man's life. She put him behind bars. He did time behind her. But then I got to thinking, like, that's how people see me. So I started telling people when they would come to me, and I still have people come to me. They say, how does it feel to take someone's life? I said, I didn't take his life. They say, yes, you did. I said, no. I said, because he could have took mine. I could be dead. My son could be coming and putting flowers on my grave every year. I said, but I'm still living. And they look at me and they say, oh, okay, if you say so. But you took his life away from him.
With that being said, I want to go back. So your family saw it. They saw you. They can see it in your face. They can see the bruises, and you was, trying to, mislead them, saying the door hit you or you fell or something like that. So when it was time to tell you, was it a time for you to tell your family about your situation, or was it a near death experience? Is when you told them because you was
My near death experience.
So you never really went to them and told them your
And
story
my grandma,
until.
she said, my aunt came down here to Tallahassee, and she saw me with the black eyes and busted lip and the brace on my arm and the brace on my leg, and she was like, you're so beautiful. And I was like, I know. She was like, why are you going through this? I said, I don't know.
And she see you today.
Yeah.
So is she? So and you
They're
going through
proud.
this. And you're going through this situation in the courthouse, and you got his family members over there thinking he just the best thing since sliced bread. He's this upstanding citizen. Do you think it was difficult for the abuser's family to hear his behavior? And were they in
It
denial?
was
They're blaming you.
when they played the 911 call, his sister automatically jumped up and she said, "That's not my brother. Y'all rigged that phone call. That's not my brother. That's not my brother in the background." The judge was like, you can be quiet, or we can remove you from the courtroom. They showed the pictures on the screen. She said, "My brother didn't do that. My brother didn't do that. I know my brother didn't do that. She's a liar." At that point, they removed her. Um, but since then, me and his sister called me. She called me. She reached out to me. She reached out to me right before Thanksgiving, and when I seen her number pop up, she called me on Facebook, and when I seen it, I automatically started having an anxiety attack. I was like, "Why is she calling me?" And I didn't answer. And she texted me. She said, "I'm not texting you about anything bad." She was like, "I just need to talk to you. Can you please answer?" So she called and I answered. I said, "Yes." She said, "Mashanda," she was like, "I forgive you." She was like, "It took me a while." She was like, "My brother's getting ready to come home next year." She was like, "But I want you to know that I do forgive you." She was like, "Even though you took my brother away from me, I forgive you." I said, "How did I take your brother away from you?" I said, "When he almost killed me." She said, "I don't see it as that." She was like, "But you took my brother from me." She was like, "And he's doing time behind you." She was like, "And I would never want anybody to go through what you went through." I said, "But you lost your mom. Your mom died because your dad stabbed your mom." I said, you lost your mom." I said, "So it would have been all right for your brother to take my life and my son be without a mom?" She was like, "No." She was like, "But I just wanted you to know I forgive you." She was like, "When my brother gets out, I just hope that he doesn't try to find you." I said, "He won't." She was like, "Well, Tallahassee's only so big."
So
I
that was an
said, "He won't."
underlying
She was like,
underlying threat. That was a watch out,
"Yeah."
watch your back.
So,
That wasn't an
contacted,
apology.
I contacted the state attorney's office and I told them about it. And they were like, "Are you scared?" I said, "Yeah, I am." So they reached out to Department of Corrections, and they served him with the paper and everything. Served his sister, and his sister, she can't, none of his family can contact me. So, I'm not letting them get the best of me because this is what I love doing. I even told his sister, I said, "Why don't you come in and sit in with some of my groups?" I said, "And you can listen to some of what these women went through." She was like, "No, I'd rather not."
So I want you to tell the audience, somebody that's going through this right now, give them some advice. Just give them some advice. If they're going through it and they keep going back and they're struggling with themselves, they're struggling with their feelings. What would you tell them?
Love doesn't hurt. Love shouldn't hurt. Oh, get out while you can, because if he hits you one time, he's gonna continue to do it over and over again until it gets worse.
Wow.
So I'm just a little, I don't know. I'm very emotionally mixed right now, and I've been quiet pretty much the whole time because I've seen it, witnessed it. It's never happened to me per se, but family members. And I am one, like Karen said, if they came to me with that, I'm like, get out now. Or I would be the one to say, do you want me to go handle it? It just, society today, people are victims in whatever shape, form, or fashion. And it's not a his side or her side only because you love them or you believe they wouldn't do that. If there is proof, you are the proof. There should not have been any doubt or, I guess you would say a misconception of that. you know, and especially for someone in her case, the sister that you're talking about, if her mom has passed from that same type of abuse, I'm trying to comprehend how someone could be blind to abuse. How could someone be, you know, I love my son. I have an older brother who's doing life right now in prison. But at the same time, when they are wrong, they are wrong. I have daughters. If they are wrong, they are wrong. And me as a mother, I've always tried to raise my children to do right. You cannot control what they do when they're out and on their own. I get it. But at the same time, I'm not going to uphold them for anything that they do that's not moral, you know. And it just, you're, the
My
whole
son, because
domestic
even my
violence just really, it bugs me. It's a hot topic. Sorry.
even with my son, he did it to his girlfriend. And his girlfriend called me and she was like, Miss Mashanda. I was like, calm down. What's going on? He was like, he hit me. I said, who hit you? She said, your son. I said, no. I was like, I said, not mine. She said, yes, he did. And he snatched the phone. He said, Mama, this does not pertain to you. She gonna learn. I said, she gonna what? He said, she gonna learn. I said, okay, I'm on my way. By the time I got there, she had done called the police. So when the police saw who I was, he was like, is this your son? I said, yes. And he looked at him. He said, do you not know we saved your mom's life and you're doing this? He was like, you're making your mom look bad. And he was like, okay. He was like, Mom, don't let them take me to jail. I said, close the door. You can go ahead and take him on to jail. He said, Mom, really? I said, yes, you're going to jail. And I talked to the young lady. She was like, will you be mad at me if I press charges? I said, no. She said, but I don't want you to have any hard feelings against. I said, no, I'm not going to have any hard feelings because he put his hands on you. I said, he seen me go through it. He wanted me to get out of it. I said, and the police officer knows me. I said, so he's making me look bad now. I said, so whatever you decide to do, that's on you, baby. I said, I'm not going to have any hard feelings. They took my son to jail. He was booked into the county jail with domestic violence, assault and battery, domestic violence. He was placed with a bond of $1,000. He called me. He said, Ma, you coming to get me? I said, no. He was like, Ma, call her. I said, nope, I'm not calling her. He managed to call her, tell her he was sorry. She called me. She said, do you mind going? I'm not going to the bondsman with you. No, we're not. She ended up catching her a cab and going to the bondsman. She bonded him out.
And that's kind of what
charges against him and everything.
With that is kind of at the same time disheartening because, you know, as he's seeing you go through it, he sees the pain, but you don't show him the pain. You see what I'm saying? And so as they grow older, they do what they've seen. I'm not hurting her that bad. I mean, you had all this on you and you was okay, you know, so she'll be okay. So it's kind of disheartening and sad to say that, you know, you're in a certain situation to where there's no outlet or you can't see that outlet at that time. And you have your kids seeing that and now they think it's okay. So when they leave the home, they're like that anger from seeing their mother go through something that they couldn't help. They were like helpless, you know, at that time. Now they're in this relationship to where now that anger pulls over to that relationship, you know, so it's kind of sad. But at the same time, you being a grown man at this state, you should be like, hey, this is not right. I watch TV. It's all over the place, you know, and just like church, for instance, you're saying your parents never taught you about church. You never know, they never taught you about God. But at the same time, God will always bring you somebody to tell you his word. So now you know it. You see, so that's just like you knew what not to do, but you did it anyway. And that I'm not your crutch anymore. I've got out that situation. You see me doing better with my life. So at the same time, you see me doing better. So now you need to do better. So, it's kind of sad with the son thing, but at the same time, he's a grown man and he knows right from wrong. So it's like a mindset shift. And it's up to you to practice that mindfulness or shift, your mind and grow. So hopefully, he's learned from it. And I know you're kind of, and you're in it, and it destroys you at the same time because you're his mother. You don't want to see your son, behind bars. That's the last place a mother want to see their son, but it's a lesson in that. So I commend you for doing that. Cause like I said, if you rob a bank, I'm telling, don't bring it in my house. I'm sorry. I'm not going down. We ain't going down together. I got to eat good. Okay. I got to eat. So you go there and eat them beans and bread or whatever you want to do. Mashed potatoes, light bread. I'm gonna eat some chicken. Okay. So you do what you do. That's the life you chose. That's the meal you chose. So you handle your business. Okay.
Right.
So yeah. So I want you to tell us before we go. I want you to tell us about your organization. How can they locate you? Everything about it. If they're in the area, how can they find you? How can they get help? Just let everything out. Tell us everything about it.
We're on Facebook. We help page on Facebook. We have Instagram. It's called Domestic Violence. It's Domestic Violence Sucks, because that's what my assistant came up with. What else? We have the cash. We have a cash app where we're doing stuff for the kids for Christmas. It's money sign We Help 2021. We're here in Tallahassee. We're always in the community. We're always posting pictures, always putting flyers on Facebook about our next events. We actually have an event coming up on the 19th. We're feeding the community Christmas dinner, and then we're having our first annual We Help Christmas party. And with the Christmas party, we're exchanging gifts. I'm blessing my team with gifts because they've been a big blessing to me. So we're out here. We're getting it done. I'm always up in the middle of the night helping somebody. I'm always doing something. I'm always trying to keep my hands in something.
And Mashanda, I just want to say thank you for coming on, because there's people out here that need to hear what you've had to share. And I am glad that there is someone speaking up for those who don't have a voice. So congratulations to you. And I have prayers, and I pray nothing come of him being released, and maybe they won't release him, if that's what it takes, so that you can continue on your path. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, I want to commend you. I really wanted to tell the audience exactly how to find you, because I know the broadcasting, and they will rewind it and they hear it back. But I was trying to make sure they had the exact Facebook or Instagram page, because there's a lot of people out there that have that, the We Help. So on the Instagram, is it just the We Help? Is it an underscore, a period in there anywhere?
On Instagram,
it will be in the description. You can. No, it's okay. You can give it to us, and we'll put it in the description. It'll be all on the podcast, but they'll have it in Vimeo and YouTube.
All right. So, yeah.
Okay.
I commend you for being on here because that was a lot, and you didn't have to share it with us. You didn't have to enlighten us on your story and try to tell others how to get out of their situation so they will be able to have a story, So it was nice to hear that, and for you to give them that that push and that drive, and that you can get out if you want to. It's a way out. The way out is not through a casket, So I really thank you for being on the show today.
Amen to that.
You're right.
So with that being said, I am your girl, Coach K. This is Thrive Talk with TKT, and you guys have a blessed night, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Thrive Talk with TKT, where Dr. Tracy Lashley, Miss Karen Hines, aka Coach K, and Mrs. Tiffany Myers speak on, and to leaders, influencers, and motivators who share journeys in personal and professional growth, teamwork, business tips, life lessons, and the mindset for success to elevate their life. Follow the ladies on all social media platforms at BOSSDUPLEADHERZ and visit www.bossdupleadherz.org. Remember to always walk in your purpose and eliminate self-doubt.